All right, so I'm Michael Kravshik. Hey, everybody. I'm the co-founder of LumiQ, and I am going to speak fairly quickly. Oh, you put 5 minutes. Alex told me 7, so sorry. All right, well, I'm here to talk to you about product market fit, or PMF. I'm going to use those 3 letters quite a bit. Why am I talking about PMF? Well, for anybody that's starting a business, it is literally the only priority that you should have. And let me say this very, very clearly. If you get everything else right and PMF wrong, you will fail. If you get everything else wrong and PMF right, you're still in the game. I'm not saying that if you get it all wrong and PMF right, you're gonna win. You still have to execute. But I am saying if you don't have it, you will definitely lose. As it turns out, the #1 reason that startups fail is that there is no market need, i.e. no PMF. So I don't have a whole lot of time, so I'm gonna talk pretty fast here. So thankfully for all of you, one thing that my co-founder and I have a great track record of is coming up with very, very terrible ideas. Lots of experience validating and devalidating product concepts. And we took a long and winding journey to find our product market fit with LumiQ, with many pivots along the way, all of which were extremely painful, but this process continuously prevented us from going too deep on something that wasn't going to work and eventually find something that did. And this journey taught us a whole lot. Initially, what it taught us was that ideas do not matter. It's the iterative approach to finding validation or product market fit that does. So who here has read The Lean Startup? Hands up. All right, okay, so I'm not gonna go into great detail about the build, measure, learn cycle. If you haven't read it, please do yourself a favor and go and read that book. But basically it's what it kind of sounds like. You build something, you put it out there, you measure how it's engaged with, you learn from that, and you iterate, and you keep on iterating until you find product market fit. Now the problem is, a lot of people make the mistake of thinking that if you can't get to the build stage, that you cannot do this process. And I'm here to tell you that that is not the case. In fact, you can iterate. My co-founder and I, neither of us were coders, had any technology background, we had no resources, we couldn't pay somebody to do it. So how do you do it? You just start telling people what your idea is. You start there, then you move to really terrible drawings. As Alex mentioned, I am an accountant. Drawing is not one of my fortes. Yet, lots and lots of people saw my terrible drawings along the way. And eventually you can go and you can pay a designer to do a mock-up, or maybe just use AI at this point. That wasn't around back in my day. The one thing that you really shouldn't do is go with your gut, because this is where I get very inspirational. Okay? Please do not make the mistake of believing in yourself. That is a terrible idea. There we go. Okay, appreciate the clap. Believe in feedback from the market. That is the only thing that matters. The market is the only arbiter of what is good, okay? Now, you might be surprised to find out that my mom thought that lots of my ideas were cool, right? Expected. But if she's not in your target market, it doesn't matter. In fact, let me take that one step further. Even if she is in your target market, don't listen to your mom. She will not give you the straight goods. I'm serious here. There's an important lesson deep within that, which is be skeptical and suspicious of anything that sounds like it's what you want to hear. Make no mistake, the validation process is mislabeled. It is not, you aren't on the process of trying to validate your idea, you're trying to devalidate your idea. And if you cannot do that, then maybe you've got something to work with.
Can I get a diet, please?
So this process, it's not just about talking with one person, of course. You need to talk with as many people as possible. Before we launched, we had over 500 one-on-one conversations with CPAs. So that's me and my co-founder each doing an average of about 8 of these per day, every day, for 6 weeks straight. And not a moment of that was wasted at all. The gold standard is quantitative results through qualitative research. It is painful as hell, but it is the best path to finding something that approximates the truth. So you might be asking, why do I care about this qualitative research? Well, the reason is survey results are not going to actually give you what you want. You don't just want to understand what people want. You want to understand why they want it. You want to get inside their head. You want to intuitively understand these things. The best pattern recognition software available is still the thing in between your ears. Use it as much as you can. Spend as much time with your market as you possibly can. The better you intuitively understand their desires, the better you will be able to develop something that actually satisfies satisfies their needs. So another quick tip here, because I was in this situation, if you happen to be a part of your own target market, we targeted CPAs, I'm a CPA, remember that A, you're one of many, and B, you're probably a weird one. That's why you're starting a business. You're not normal if you are starting a business. Don't think that you are. Be skeptical of yourself as much as everyone else. All right, so now the question is how? How are you going to go and have these conversations? Yeah, my time's up, sorry. I'm gonna keep going though. So I'm not gonna be able to cover that today. That's a really, really big topic, but I'm gonna leave you one key nugget, which is start broad and go narrow. Okay, start broad, go narrow. Don't start by figuring out whether the button should be at the top or the bottom of the screen. Find out whether anybody even gives a shit about the button to begin with, and then figure out where it should go on the screen, okay? Eventually, you will find yourself unsure of whether you've actually validated or devalidated your concept. Should you pivot or should you persevere? I cannot give you a rule around this, but here's a tip. Ask yourself if you have a problem or if you have a solution problem. A problem means that the problem that you're trying to solve is the problem. It's just not a big enough problem. Can I say problem any more times? We will find out. In fact, yes, I will. Because I'm going to define what a solution problem is. A solution problem is when you find out that actually you're trying to service a real problem, but the solution that you're providing isn't really hitting the mark. In the first case, a problem, that probably means you want to pivot. In a solution problem scenario, try to modify it and see if you actually can solve that problem. Finally, this process never stops. PMF is not a binary yes or no. It sits on some kind of a spectrum. And for all the engineers out there or mathematicians, I kind of liken it to a limit in mathematics. You can get closer and closer, but you can never actually get there, right? Not only that, the target is moving all the time. Anybody here remember the iPhone 3? Who's old enough? Yeah, a couple of you, okay. Okay, hold on. Also, hands up, who actually understood the Matt Foley reference? Living in a van down by the river? All right, there's my old people, yeah. All right, so the iPhone 3, that product probably had the best product market fit in history. Who here still wants an iPhone 3? All right, you guys are just screwing up my whole thing here. No, nobody wants the iPhone 3 because the market moves, things change over time. So your best weapons for finding that product market fit, for going through this process are the following. Be curious, be open-minded, have a willingness to kill your babies or your best ideas. Do not get married to your ideas. They are silly, even if your mom thinks they're cool, and don't fall for the sunk cost fallacy. Even if you've gone far on something and you've devalidated it, get rid of it. Don't spend another minute on it. Ultimately, the only real, sustainable, competitive advantage that any company has is knowing their customers better than anybody else. Thank you. Oh. And that's my dog.
Questions?
Questions for me?
I got a second. Do we have another runner? We have a second runner.
Hey, thank you so much for sharing your experience. And the question that
Eat the mic.
Oh.
Eat the mic.
Sorry, I don't use it on a daily basis. Yeah.
Mic closer, right to your mouth.
Oh my God.
There you go. Now you're hearing yourself in full HD.
Oh, is that my voice? Yeah. Nice.
Sounds great.
You know, I'm just wondering, like, is there any tool that you found very useful to collect all those insights? And the second question is that, how did you define the threshold of the feature list for the go-to-market and those that are exciting and good for, like, chasing, but can wait for somebody else?
Okay, so your first question, which tool did I use? Now, this is going to shock everybody here because I am a CPA. It's this newfangled tool called Excel. And boy, does it work great. And I shit you not, I would have questions all along the top row, and I would just have hundreds of people down the side row answering the same questions. I mean, we change the questions over time as you learn enough to go, hey, I don't need to ask this question anymore. I have a good sense of the market at this point. You know, when 9 out of 10 people answer the same question the same way, that's probably your good indicator to stop asking that question. You understand where people sit on it and move on. So yeah, Excel, honestly. You don't need anything fancy. Your second question was essentially like, how do you know what is an MVP feature versus not? And I could sit here and tell you that there is a cold hard rule around that. I don't think there is, and frankly, your best bet is reading the Lean Startup. That'll give you all sorts of advice around it. But I think fundamentally, if you start broad with what is the actual problem that I am solving, what is the least amount of shit that you need to build to solve that problem, and that's your answer. The thing is, when you have product market fit, and this is the worst advice I ever got, and I'm going to share it with all of you because it's annoying as hell. When you have product market fit, you will know it. You know it when you see it. And if you're sitting there and you're like, I'm not sure if I have product market fit, you do not have product market fit. This is something that was really hard for us to learn. We went through a lot of these pivots, as I mentioned. If you're sitting there and you have something that is really meaningful to people, it will be obvious through the tone in their voice, through the emotions that they're showing on their face. Don't even worry about the words. You can see it on people. It's palpable. And when you see that, it's usually only one thing, especially for a startup. You're not building a whole suite of products. You're building one thing better than everybody else. And so if you find yourself with 18 different features, you aren't solving like an important enough problem. So you're trying to solve that through solving many unimportant problems. Or maybe you just have too much in there and you're cluttering up what really matters to people with stuff that doesn't. I know that's not like a perfect answer to what you're looking for, but there really isn't a rule. Yeah.
Next question here. Stand up.
Just a question. Oh, okay. If you could start over and start today, what would you do different to devalidate bad ideas earlier?
That's a great question, and I can answer that really simply. When we started, we got into like what I would call a lot of blue sky visioning, a lot of navel gazing. We were building business plans and doing all sorts of stupid stuff that really just doesn't matter. This is why I started where I started. If you're doing anything else with your time other than trying to validate your concept with the market, it's a waste of your time at the beginning. It really is. I know it's hard because you're all excited about starting a business. You want to do all these things. You want to go meet cool investors and whatever, but none of that matters. Focus on, forget your ego. Just focus on what really matters. Do you have product market fit or not?
Can we get a round of applause?
Let's go.
I'm done?
Yeah, can I get the clicker?